Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss an interesting statement attributed to a cabinet minister about what levelling up really means. Apparently, it means the destruction of British producers and favouring foreign imports instead. Only that had been explained to the electorate in 2019. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, in amongst the implosion of the British pork industry, the East Anglia Bylines reported that a cabinet minister, who has to go unnamed for some reason, said that the situation we were witnessing was levelling up in action. The full quote was, "We have to dig in if consumers have to pay more for pork than they have to pay more for pork. This is levelling up in action." Now, during the 2019 general election campaign, there were two main policies that the Conservatives pushed: get Brexit done and level up. Neither seems to be achieved. Although we have left the EU, the deal that Boris Johnson sold his Brexit strategy on, is under threat because Boris Johnson now wants to renegotiate it. He complained that if people voted for Labour, they would have to negotiate a new deal. We've got it already. We've got this oven-ready deal, he said. 2 years later, now he says he wants to put it in the bin and start again. And yet nobody seems to be pointing out that this is continuing the painful divisions over Brexit in the country that he promised to end. Come on, Labour, sort yourselves out. It's not even attacking Brexit, this, is it? This is attacking the government's refusal to actually get Brexit done. But anyway, it's the levelling up one that I want to talk about here, though that is laced with Brexit as well. So what was levelling up? What do you mean level up? People thought they knew what getting Brexit done meant. The fact that just as with the original referendum, the outcome seemed to mean different things to different people is all part of the political con. Promise something ambiguous and it will appeal to more people. Of course it will, because different people will think it means something different. They all think, oh, it means this thing that I want. Someone else thinks, oh, no, it means this thing that I want. But what on earth did levelling up mean to anyone? Again, no doubt people placed their own interpretation on it rather than asking what it actually meant, but nobody actually knew, not even the government. Even ministers have been struggling to try and identify it. So, when a cabinet minister is reported as saying, this thing that's happening to the pork industry, that's levelling up in action, you have to take a closer look, because it might actually be the first time that anyone has actually pointed to a thing that this government is doing and said, that there is levelling up. So what are they pointing at? Well, pig farmers have been able to rear pigs no problem. They haven't been hit by Brexit really, have they? They haven't been blighted, as far as I can tell, from the worker shortages that crop farmers have been suffering from. But if anything, pig farmers are suffering more than crop farmers as a result of Brexit. People have made quite a lot of the fact that Kate Morgan, one of the pig farmers who has been trying to publicise the plight of her industry, not only voted for Brexit, but actively campaigned for it. Easy to slip into a bit of schadenfreude here, don't get me wrong. I love the I told you so banner. It is the only grim satisfaction those of us who didn't have our heads up our arses these past few years get these days. When you're sinking into the abyss and the lunatics who put you there are still in charge, what else is there to do than to slap people round the head who enabled it and call them idiots? But long term, we need to recognise that in order to reverse this, we need to let people feel comfortable in changing their minds. We can't have people going around thinking, well, I supported Brexit, I'd really rather not, but if I say I don't now, people are going to slap me round the head and call me an idiot. We need people to change their minds, we need them to do it quickly, we need them to be comfortable doing that. Morgan is campaigning against the extreme Tory Brexit. That makes her an ally in my books, never mind what happened in the past. We've all done things in the past. We all used to shit the bed at one time. We moved on, I hope. People make progress in their lives. But I digress. The point is that pig farmers themselves can do their jobs well enough. No problem, they can rear the pigs. It's the processing end where it's problematic. Not enough butchers to, as one media article put it, turn the pigs into pork. Like almost every key profession in the country, we have had quite a lot of those EU workers doing those jobs. So there's nowhere for the tens of thousands of pigs to go. farmers have already started destroying healthy pigs at the rate of, we're told, 15,000 new healthy pigs a week not being able to go to slaughter. Farmers are pointing out that we are the first country to do this to healthy animals. Just call them. I presume they mean in peacetime. So because we don't have enough butchers, we can't produce anywhere near enough British pork to meet our demand. But the demand is still there. So we're going to be importing pork from the EU. Of course we are. We want pork. Can we get it ourselves? No. Can the EU provide it? Maybe. Right then. So what is actually happening is that we are producing less pork in Britain by quite a lot. Those who do produce pork are having to scale back their business. Some of them ending their involvement altogether. Can't make it work, smaller producers. And we're paying the EU a load of money to supply us with what we used to supply ourselves. And the government's xenophobic immigration policy makes no sense at all in this matter. The pork that we are going to be eating this winter is still going to have been processed by EU butchers. The government say, "Well, you don't want these EU butchers." It's still going to be processed by EU butchers. The choice for our government was this. One, have some EU butchers process our British pork along with British butchers for our supermarkets. Or second, have EU butchers process foreign pork for our supermarkets. The second option means more foreign workers involved in producing our food. More, because of their immigration policy. And yet that's the one the government have gone for. This immigration policy that's supposed to be about foreign workers. We're getting more foreign workers as a result of it. That's how it's actually working in practice. And it's not the only way in which the Brexit immigration policy makes no sense. I've got a good one for a Friday video. But this is levelling up, apparently, as one senior member of the government allegedly sees it. Increasing our reliance on foreign imports is levelling up. No, the gammons say. What they meant was that it will eventually drive up wages. Because that's the line the government keep trying to use. If you're struggling, just pay higher wages and let the costs of your products go up. We've already seen that this doesn't work. The HGV shortage has been acute for months and wages have gone up. This hasn't solved the shortages. They're still there. It's just moved them about. Those who can afford the highest wages have got the drivers now. And there are some, including public bodies like councils, struggling. I'd already mentioned that there will be a problem gritting roads this winter, with councils suffering a shortage of drivers in some parts of the country. But this line of thinking doesn't even work hypothetically for pig farmers. You could sort of get it originally if you've got shortages, pay higher wages, and those shortages will ease. In some situations, of course, that's going to work. Absolutely, that's going to work. Pay more attractive rates of pay. Got you. But we've shown that it doesn't work for HGV jobs because, again, it's a skilled job. We don't have enough skilled people. But for pig farmers, it doesn't make sense even just in theory. Because whose wages are they supposed to increase? They haven't got a problem with staff. I mean, it's abattoirs who pay the butchers, not the farmers. But also, even if you point to the industry as a whole, there aren't the numbers. People tried to make this moronic thinking work for lorry drivers because we know that there are a lot of qualified HGV drivers who are not actually driving lorries because, you know what, they can have easier work that pays about the same. And qualified butchers have no real reason not to be actively involved in the profession of their training unless, they've won the lottery or they're making shed loads doing something else. In which case, you're still not going to attract them with higher wages. They're making shed loads. I've never heard of an exodus of trained butchers from the profession because of working conditions and pay. If you've trained as a butcher, it's very likely you're still a butcher. Pig farmers, as far as I can see, have absolutely no levers of control here. So the statement from the government, by pointing at the pig farming industry and calling it levelling up, is to objectively describe levelling up as the destruction of a once successful British industry and to move towards importing those products from overseas instead. And don't forget that the statement also included consumers paying higher prices. Oh, they will pay higher prices because we're importing now. But those higher prices aren't having the knock-on effect of more or better paid jobs in Britain, but in the EU. This is also At the same time, the government have actively reduced the income of British consumers through a combination of cuts to universal credit and an increase in national insurance. So levelling up doesn't just mean destroying British industries and growing EU ones, but also making British people pay more on reduced incomes for that EU produce that we used to make ourselves. Oh, so that's levelling up, is it? Yeah, I don't see that idea catching on, if I'm honest. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. If you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.